back with more of this AVP omnibus. We're going to talk about two very short stories today. The first one's called Blood Time. This was collected in Dark Horse Comics issue 25. And this is basically a rite of passage Yautja hunt for xenomorphs on a jungle planet. That's really it. This is the first time I believe we've gotten a full Yautja perspective in a comic. Maybe ever. Other than, I think the only time we would have gotten that would be the Predator 2 novelization. That'd be the only one prior to this where we get Yautja perspective on things. It's interesting. I can see what Randy Stradley's trying to do with this, where the Yautja aren't just like monsters; they have their own culture, that sort of thing, and that's kind of neat. So, what would I rank this? It's a 3 out of 5. It's okay. It's worth your time to read. It takes like 5-10 minutes to read. So next, we move on to a 2-issue mini called Duel, also written by Randy Stradley. And this deals with a platoon of colonial marines being sent to Ryushi to figure out what on earth happened. By this point, Machiko's gone. So there isn't anyone on the planet, but there's still xenomorphs and possibly an abomination, a pred alien, which is when Yautja's face hugged and the abomination that comes out of it. Duel was one of those comics that I was obsessed with back in middle school, and when I would read this omnibus, it was mainly to read Duel, because Duel's awesome. Is it the best story in the world? No. It doesn't add much. But it's basically a Yautja and a human being forced to team up again. It's basically what I always wanted an AVP movie to be, other than, just straight up making the original Aliens vs. Predator comic into a film. This is dope. It's an awesome story. It's 2 issues. It doesn't need any more issues. It is exactly as long as it needs to be for the story. Also, it's not Wayland Yutani that's the corporation that ran Ryushi. It's a different company, which is kind of neat. That, we don't have because nowadays it's like the big 3 corporations, or I'm sorry, according to Alien Earth, it's now 5, even though 2 of those had never been brought up ever. And you think they would have if it's this close to Alien. But Alien Earth is a pile of feces, and we don't need to talk about it. Possibly the reason that a lot of Alien stuff seems to be kind of getting pushed back, which is unfortunate. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I forgot my train of thought. Oh, well, this comic's just awesome. It's fun. It's high paced. Not a whole lot of dialogue. Just enough to get the plot rolling. The Marines aren't very memorable. They're pretty interchangeable. And that's okay for something this short. I'm not looking for really in-depth characters. This isn't Aliens, the movie. This isn't Dog Soldiers or Predator. This is Aliens vs. Predator Duel. Is it as good as the original Randy Stradley comic? No. Is it fun? Yes. Is it a nice holdover until we get to war? Also, yes. What would I rank this? I'll give it a good 3.9 out of 5. It's very worth your time to check out. Now, you may be noticing that things are not quite in publication order going forward with these Dark Horse omnibuses. And that's because it's really hard to figure out what came first. because Dark Horse was never great about collecting everything in a publication order or in chronological order. They kind of just would collect things and see how it flowed in an omnibus and slap them all in. For instance, Predator Demon's Gold is at the end of their fourth and final omnibus. Even though there's a lot of stories in that omnibus that were released after that, they are put before it because Demon's Gold is a nice end to that omnibus. And that's typically what they would do at Dark Horse. They would try to keep things, like especially with like Star Wars, try to keep it in chronological order if they could. But they were never good about collecting things. Um, it's kind of, I mean, we still see this today a little bit with like the Tomb Raider, the Colossal Collections of Tomb Raider, where they just left out issue 25 in that first Colossal Collection because it ties into stuff that they don't own the rights to. Um, which is weird, even though Image reprinted the Witchblade stuff that tied into that. They didn't print the one issue of the original Tomb Raider series that tied in for Dark Horse. So they still do things like this. We're very blessed, especially with the Aliens omnibuses and some of the Star Wars omnibuses, with how much they've collected. Like, Aliens is only missing 2 stories, and I'm not. I think it had to do with AVP stuff, not knowing if AVP is going to. They're going to do anything with AVP, if there's going to be another AVP film. But with Predator Badlands, I really think we're going to get another AVP film. I don't know if it'll be good or not, but I think we'll get that. Because Badlands has done very well, and one can only hope. And I personally, even if it's bad, I just hope they do it because we'll get an AVP omnibus, possibly 2 AVP omnibuses, and maybe a Fire and Stone and Life and Death omnibus. So we'll get those Prometheus comics in there too. It's really not that you can't just do a Prometheus omnibus. It only have like 10 issues in it. I don't think you can even call it an omnibus at that point. It's just an oversized hardcover. But anyway, it would be really nice to get some more AVP stuff, because we haven't gotten a good AVP story in a very long time. I think the last one we got was that novel Rift War, which is okay for Titan Books stuff. In the Titan Books era, it's okay. So, anyway, have a nice day.